Hey everybody, I took the TEAS yesterday and I wanted to vlog about a little bit about it, give you a heads up on a couple of things, and I did well. I passed well over passing level, and I just want to tell you what was on the test, what to expect, and how I studied for it, because I think it could help some of you. There are not a lot of videos on YouTube about the TEAS that have any detailed information, so when I was looking, I was a little frustrated with that, so I thought maybe I would give you some advice. So the test was a little over 3 hours. I think they give you 4 hours. There's 4 main categories. Reading is first, math, science, and English. It was computerized. We got our results 3 hours after we left. We logged on from home, got our results on the internet. The testing company is called ATI. Here's their website, atitesting.com, where you can sign up for your exam, purchase the study guide, which I showed you before. Here's another look at it, just in case you didn't watch my last vlog. Study guide. I took version 5. That's what's required right now for ADM programs. The national score was 64, which is pretty low. Passing is 62%. I think if you tank on any subjects 40% or below, you have to remediate with the class. That did not happen with me, luckily. I studied very hard. It's a difficult test. Word to the wise, I would not recommend taking the TEAS test until you've completed your core science prerequisites for nursing school. This is an entrance exam for nursing school. Even though it says academic standards, it's well beyond senior level high school into college. So, okay, the areas that were on the test were the reading comprehension. Basically, they had 4-paragraph essays and 1 to 5 questions about what you just read, anywhere from technical yes and no type answers to what can be inferred from reading this logically. So you have to think about it. The math section was pretty hardcore. Starts out with basic numbers and operations, adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing, long form, no calculators allowed. Don't take your cell phone, don't take your water bottle. They won't let you bring anything in the class. There is a timer on the screen and you are timed. You get about a minute and a half per question throughout the exam. There's more math questions and science questions than reading and English questions. So the math and science is super heavy. Know how to divide, multiply, add, and subtract fractions. Know how to determine percents, decimals, and fractions. Know decimal placement for tenths and hundredths, and convert between the two. There were a lot of percentage questions. What's 20% of 100? 20% of what is 450? That type. So you have to know how to do those. Then it goes into algebra and basically starts with your linear equations, solve for x, all the way up to polynomials. Also includes orders of operation, which is parenthesis, exponent, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction, and factoring out equations with multiple variables. So go over those. I used Khan Academy, K-A-H-N Academy on YouTube. He's a science and math instructor, and he helped me through physiology, and he helped me study for this test, the TEAS. Math also involves data interpretation, which is basically there was a bar graph and a linear graph of time and amount. graphing. And measurements, converting metric to English measurement. They give you the conversion, but you still have to factor out. So go over those, practice those. The science was super heavy. I studied a lot for that. Human body science, my anatomy came up there. Life science, super hard. Genetics, DNA, RNA, replication, the Punnett square, the dominant recessive gene traits, photosynthesis on the plant science versus cellular respiration on body science. Goes into chemistry, ionic and covalent bonds, factoring reactions, know your oxidative reduction reactions rates, things like that. The earth and physical science, basically, mass over volume is talking about densities, if you remember that. Properties, physical and chemical properties of water. That was in there. Evaporation, vaporization, and condensation. A lot of science. And scientific reasoning, which might ask you about the hypothesis and the steps to an experiment. If you remember those, go over those. And then English involved punctuation, grammar, and spelling. Know the proper use of comma, hyphen, parentheses, quotes, brackets, colon, semicolon. Go over misspelled words. Know the spelling rules. Plural possessive and possessive, apostrophe use. What else was on the grammar? Punctuation. No subject, verb, adverb, noun, proper noun, capitalization. Anyway, I'm giving you a nutshell of what was on the exam. I'll tell you again, have your prereqs done, get the study guide, get a good night's sleep, study as much as you can prior. Don't cram for this. You can't do it. Then go on ATItesting.com and purchase their assessments online. There are 2 of them. They're just under $40 each, and they're well worth the money, because what it'll do is it'll give you a printout. This is exactly what the test printout looks like too. They are exactly like the exam in format and style, and you'll get used to the questions and how they're written, and you'll get used to watching the timer. And then when you're done with the assessment, you get a printout of your scores, and it'll show you basically here where you're falling, anything you're low at. That's what it did with me. You just go over and see algebra. I got to work on my algebra. Well, I took my first assessment, and my points were all over the board. And so what I did was I circled the lowest 6 points, and then I studied really hard on those for 2 more days. Then I took the second assessment, and I was getting much better. I increased my scores up to 10%. And so by the time I went for the exam, I was much more confident, and I was pretty certain of the score I was going to receive. So if you have any questions, please ask. I can't make this video too long, or YouTube won't upload it for me, but I'd be more than happy to answer questions about the test. And specific questions I remember quite a bit. So email me. All right. Talk to you later.